Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sam Coupe video. As you can see, the two drive bays are open. More on that in a minute. And there we are. Hello me. So this Sam has got it's got a little bit of an issue. It is always a little trick. This is an early Sam, so it will have a revision 0 or 1 ROM, whatever they call them. And apparently you type in poke. No you don't, I've forgotten the command already. Anyway, it's a poke command, you type it in and it comes up, I think 10 in this version, which is ROM 1. So this is an early ROM. It's not the revised, no, it's not the pre-revision ROM, i.e. the first ship ROM, which apparently had a bug in it, which MGT had to send out many thousands of ROMs to replace them. But this is a revision 1 ROM. The later ones, I think, copyright 1990. This will be a, what is this? 89, is it? Yeah, it's 89. So this is a ROM 1, if you will, rather than a 0. Yeah, it's 256K. I've just ordered another 256 to make it 512, which I'll be doing a video of popping it in when it comes. And the Ethernet card with an SD adapter. So we'll go into all these details later in the week or next weekend when they arrive. Colin's just making them up for me now at his website Quasar. Anyway, so what's wrong with this? Okay, the disk drive. The disk drive is a, what are we? A Citizen UODC 09A, and what that is a slimline 3.5 inch. I think they're a 1 megabyte drive, which is 880 formatted or something in that particular area. But they are strange in that they are slimline, as I said. The cover's popped off of this, I need to put that back on. They're a slimline drive. The read and write head, is to the left of the drive, rather than the usual position where my thumb is, that way. And also you'll notice the adapter on the back, which is the disk drive controller. This was done, well, I don't really know why it was done, other than that being an interface for the SAM, but because it has the disk drive controller on there, if you have two of these plugged in, one there, one there, it can write to one drive and read from another at the same time, which is quite clever. It doesn't slow the machine down. But anyway, the drive belt is stretched, worn and broken on this. The rubber is degraded to a point where it is scrap. It's a little bit fiddly. What you do is you take this cover off with, it goes that way, 2 screws there and there. Yeah, 2 screws there and there, which are there and there. Remove the top cover, then you remove this screw here, and this panel with the motor on lifts away, and then you sort of thread it in, put it around the big rotor there, and away you go. But you will have big problems finding a Citizen drive belt because they don't make them anymore. So what do you do? Well, you've got 2 choices, 3 choices in fact. You can either buy a new disk drive from Colin at Quasar, and that's about 50 UK pounds, whatever that equates to in different currency, I don't know. Or you can buy a Sinclair Spectrum Plus 3 disk drive for their 3-inch drives, which is, let's say, a reasonable fit and should be okay. The other option is that you buy a 71mm by I think it's 0.6 width by whatever that is, a 71mm drive belt, which are advertised everywhere. They're on eBay. And the 71mm is what came with the Citizen OUDC dash something else, 45 or something. And what that is basically, it's the same drive, but without any of this nonsense on it. I'm not sure if it had a normal connector or not, or just the 26 inch. I'm not sure. But it's the same drive internally. So that belt will fit and should work perfectly. Now the reason the MGT SAM Coupe drive, it's a slimline bit of kit like that, I would imagine is because they got a good price on a lot of them. But what they did is, when they released the SAM, it came without a disk drive initially. And it wasn't until I think 6 months later or so that the disk drives were available. And they came in they came in a module, which is a plastic case, which is this thing. I'll not turn it upside down because the screws are in there. It's a module that came like this. You pop the cover off, which is here. Slide it in there, and put 2 screws in the back. Power it up, and you have a disk drive. Or you could have 2 disk drives if you were feeling posh. But I doubt many people did. They would have been too expensive. I don't know what the retail cost was in whenever it was, 89, 1991, but they won't have been cheap. Anyway, so that is the SAM in its current form. It all works. I did write a little program on it last night. It does use sort of an advanced sort of Spectrum basic. Border 1. It will beep. 1,1. You won't hear a noise, the audio is not plugged, so that's completely pointless. Paper. 1. Is it just 1 or 1? Just 1, isn't it? Yeah, there you go, blue screen. And then ink. 7. So we've got light blue right in there. Yeah, so it's very Spectrum-esque, the basic of it. So if you're good with the Spectrum, you can write away pretty quickly on this thing. I don't have the manual for this, so I'm trying to find a manual. I don't have the original cassette tape that came with it, which included a fairly basic Spectrum emulator. Now, how the Spectrum games work on this, I've read about and discovered, is basically you pop a disc in, or you put the original SAM cassette tape with the program on it. It was a demo cassette tape that came with it. It had flash on it, the Spectrum emulator utility, and a demo of some description. Oh, the demo shows machine running, that's it. I will, in time, go through all these and get all these bits and bobs and show them all working. But yeah, you load up the Spectrum emulator, then use a cassette fly lead, the ear cable from the back to your cassette player, load in Spectrum game and away you go. Now the original one that came with this machine, the original Spectrum emulator, is not much more than the Spectrum ROM on cassette, which is loaded into RAM. Now SAM or MGT couldn't get the rights to the original Spectrum ROM, so they deconstructed the ROM and made their own version of it. And it worked pretty well, but it wasn't perfect. It wasn't an exact clone. And if you had a program which was a little bit funky, you'd get problems. Yeah, there were all kinds of problems with cassette loaders apparently. The lens lock and the copy protection things caused all kinds of problems. So they didn't work too well. The later emulators that came after the demise of MGT, and Sinclair for that matter, worked much better. And I've had a word with Colin at Quasar, and he's sending me a disc with some bits and bobs on. So hopefully we'll be able to get started, and I'll do a long and decent video, probably next week or at the weekend. So that's where we stand at the moment. I hope to have this up and running. I'll probably make a SCART lead or sort something out to plug it into the big TV, or do a proper video capture. Although, you know, it's a SAM, I might not bother. But I intend to do a full video showing this thing working, playing games, music demos. There is also a surround sound card that Colin's made, and he's also done a SID, the C64 SID expansion, where you plug it in the back and it'll play all the C64 tunes in nice sound, which I must admit I'm very tempted to get. Don't know why, I just love Commodore 64 tunes. Very nostalgic. So what else have I done? Oh, I've made up the power pack from a plus 2, which is in a previous video. I also quickly soldered in a fly lead for the composite video, so I can plug it into these little screens I've got kicking about rather than utilising the TV. That's about it really. Like I say, the disk drive, there's 2 big screws somewhere. It'll be that one and the one opposite, I would imagine, and they hold it in place. This thing's soldered on. Colin does a conversion where you can plug in a more modern, is there such a thing as a modern disk drive? Where you can plug in a relatively modern 3.5 inch floppy drive rather than using the Citizen ones. I think the later MGTs didn't use a Citizen drive, they used just a normal 3.5 inch PC drive, but again they had an adapter on the back. So that's about it for this video. I haven't done a great deal, although I've spent hours and hours on it, which is hard to believe. I'm still trying to track down the manual, like I said. But yeah, until next time, the Sam Coupe says cheerio.